Part of being an ancient loan officer for over 35 years is you pick up a lot of tricks along the way. And I'm going to share one of my favorite ones with you right now. So we're going to focus primarily on borrower in Florida, but this will really work for all over the country if you do a little hunting and extrapolating. But we're going to focus on let's say a borrower wants to buy a flipped property in Florida. Okay. Now, and any good loan officer or realtor is going to tell you this, but when you purchase a new property, particularly one that's been owned for a long time or one that's been heavily renovated recently, those taxes are going to skyrocket when they reassess your taxes, maybe in 12 to 18 months down the road. But the problem is a lot of newer realtors and loan officers don't realize that. So they go off of the old tax bill of the customer. And I'm going to use a property that one of our customers is actually renovating right now. They purchased it. It was an estate sale situation. They purchased the property. They've completely gutted it. It's going to hit the market soon. And I thought that would be a great one to start with. But I'm going to first of all start with one of my favorite tools. It's a website I have nothing to do with. I don't even know who owns it, but I use it all the time. And that's called netronline.com. Netter Online is what I call it. I'm not sure how it's really pronounced, but netronline.com. You can see the URL right up here. So here's what I do. Okay. It is a wonderful tool to find pretty much any county and taxing authority in the entire country and all of their public records, which is great. So if you're a note investor, you want to buy a note in Bug Tussle, Tennessee somewhere, you can actually go and look it up in that particular county. If you want to buy it in California, you can look it up in a county, but we're going to focus on the Tampa Bay area of Florida, which is where I'm based, and a property that we actually are working on right now so that you can see how big taxes can jump and how you as a consumer or a young loan officer or a realtor can use this tool to be able to help your customers. So first of all, what you're going to do on the homepage is you're going to go to where it says public records, and hopefully you can see my cursor, and you're going to choose online directory. Now this is going to pop up and you have to scroll down just a wee bit to see this wonderful state. By the way, this site is free. You're going to get a lot of ads. Suck it up, buttercup, and deal with it. You're going to get ads, but hey, it's free. So when you scroll over this map of the United States, though, like I said, you can pick any state that you want to in the entire country, and it'll be basically the same. But we're going to go to Florida, okay? And now, once you hit the state, it's going to pop up all the counties, of course, parishes if you're in Louisiana. And you might have to expand it because a lot of states like Florida have a lot of different counties that won't just fit on one screen. So you expand it. We're going to go to Hillsborough County, which is the Tampa area. And there's a small town called Seffner. It's really a suburb, not that small. It's a suburb. And that's where this property is going to be. So we're going to look that up in a moment. But I want to point out a few things on here. You basically, when you click on that county, it's going to pull up all kinds of great websites with public records. For instance, you've got the property appraiser site where you can pull up how they're assessing the property and information on the property. You've got the tax collector, so you can see past tax bills. We're going to hit that in just a moment. I also use quite heavily, and if you're like a note investor or somebody that's trying to look up liens on a property, then the clerk of court is huge as well. Now, in different municipalities or different counties and different states, these might be a little bit different in their roles because all of these in Florida are constitutional type of authorities, and different states are going to do it differently. But the concept's the same. Okay, this will really still be a help for you. So let's start. Let's look up the tax history on this one by going to the tax collector site. Now it's going to take us to a different window. And I'm not sure if you can actually see me here, but we're going to go ahead and put the address of the property in. And I know it's 903 Lanewood, and I can't type. And sure enough, it popped it right up here. And it's going to pull up. And we're going to be able to, now it's moving a little slow because I am using a program to review this, but we're going to take a look at the account history, and it's going to pull up the account history. Now, this is really interesting just to show you the payment shock that you would get. Look at the bill in 2024 when this guy bought the place, right? The taxes, and even before that, these people in 23 were paying $300 a year. That's what they were paying for taxes. But look at what it jumped to the next year once the homestead dropped and the borrower passed away. This was an estate sale situation. Those taxes jumped to $2,700 a year. And then look what happened. They reassessed it to $6,200 a year. So when you buy a property, this is critical. that you realize this. When you buy a property, you need to make sure that you're not paying too close attention to what the old bill was on the property. You want to know what you're going to be paying. So this particular person is now paying $6,200 a year on this property. Now, if you want to print the old tax bill, you can click here and it should pop it up on the screen pretty quickly if you want to do that. But we're not going to do that today. We're going to go back to the public records, and we're going to go into the property appraiser. Now, in Florida, your tax estimators are not on your tax collector site; they're on the property appraiser site. So when you click on the property appraiser site for Hillsborough County, old Bob Enriquez is going to pop up here in a second. The internet's run a little slow today, but as soon as he pops up, there's going to be a menu right here that we're going to actually use. So, key is never, ever, ever buy a property without doing this entire search. Okay, this is very, very important. Oh, there we are. Okay, so the tax estimator, we're going to click on the tax estimator, and it's going to pop up where it asks for the either the folio number, the parcel number, the owner's name, or the address, which we know the address, 903 Lane Wood, and it popped it up here. And lo and behold, we're going to hit search, and it's going to pop up the property, so we want to choose that. Now, it automatically enters an amount in here. It says 314,000, but we know that's probably going to sell for closer to 430-ish, I'm going to guess. And do you intend to occupy this as your homestead, meaning live here? You're going to homestead this property. We're going to say yes on this. And the reason being, in the state of Florida, if you're an investor, you're not going to homestead the property. So your taxes can continue to rise pretty rapidly. There's no stops. But if you homestead it, not only do you get a tax break, schools, you get a $25,000 off of the value before they apply the millage rates to come up with your taxes, and $50,000 on everything else. So they lower your tax bill by 50 grand, or your value by 50 grand before they apply the taxes, except for schools, which is 25 in Florida. So we're going to go ahead and click that button, and we're going to homestead it. And then if you look down below, and sometimes you have to calculate, in Hillsborough it doesn't require that. It says your unofficial estimated taxes are between $6,000 and $7,000. Now remember, in 23, this customer was paying $300 a year. So it could be a massive sticker shock. And a lot of customers, the taxes are only this amount. They'll count on that. And then a year or two later, all of a sudden their mortgage payment shoots through the roof because their taxes went up, because they were reassessed. Don't let that happen to you. Don't let that happen to your customers if you're a loan officer or a realtor. Use this site and anywhere you are in the country, and try to make that estimate for your customers so that they don't get that sticker shock. Very important. So if you have any questions, and here again, let me just kind of reiterate, you can look at all kinds of great stuff with this site. You can pull up deeds or mortgages that have been filed on the property, liens against the property. And you can actually get, in most instances, download a copy of that deed or lien or mortgage to look at it and see, who the mortgage is to and all that fun stuff. Property appraiser information, square footages, how do they value the property versus the dirt? In Florida last year, we had some severe hurricanes that destroyed some houses. So maybe we want to buy a place, but we're only valuing the dirt. Let's see how that dirt is taxed. So there's all kinds of things you can do with the site. But today, remember, this is all about the taxes, all about the tax jump. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below, and I'll do my very best to answer them. Or I'm really easy to find on the internet. Reach out to me. I'd love to establish a relationship and answer any questions that you may have. Thanks so much. Watch the next video. Appreciate it.